What's going on, everybody? Zim here, back with another NBA 2K21 playoff simulation. This time around, we're having the Dallas Mavericks versus the LA Clippers. I mean, this should be an interesting matchup. Obviously, the Clippers have Kawhi, Paul George. I mean, they have some really good firepower. I'd say pretty clear favorites. When it comes to the Mavericks, we have Luka and obviously the unicorn Kristaps himself. Who really need to just sort of prove what they can do come playoffs. Obviously, Luka, I mean, probably should have been an MVP candidate. His numbers are insane. Walking triple double, kind of like Russell Westbrook, less athletic, better shooter. So this will be an interesting matchup. I assume the Mavericks are sort of just going to be coming out guns blazing, shooting the ball as much as possible. Luka just running their offense versus the Clippers. I mean, Kawhi, obviously load management. Kawhi hasn't exactly had the best regular season. Paul George has had glimpses of being a top caliber player. We all know the playoffs are sort of hit or miss with him, whether it's pandemic P or playoff P. And then Kawhi is clearly turns it up to level 11 when the playoffs come around, finals come around. We've seen that on multiple teams. Yet to see that on the Clippers, though. But we all know he's clutch. So this should be an interesting matchup. I'm probably going to go with the Clippers. I'm going to play it safe on this one. Although if Luka just goes crazy, then you never know what'll happen. If this is your first time on my channel, if you're new around here, this is a playoff simulation with a little bit of a twist. Obviously, tons of YouTubers have done playoff simulations for the 2021 playoffs in franchise mode. I'm switching it up, doing blacktop, sort of get that My Park feel. I think it's a little more fun, a little more flashy, exciting. Obviously, I'm in the game watching the whole time, not playing. So the frequencies, as in shot tendencies and whatnot, might be a little bit unrealistic. I mean, they're a bit unrealistic. Let's ourselves be realistic here. But either way, I think it's more fun and just something different. If you have any suggestions at all, please let me know. I'm doing best of 3, 5-on-5. I've thought about doing 5-on-5 for the first 2 games and then just a 3v3 half court for the third game. So again, any and all suggestions would be great. Let me know how the audio is. Let me know how the quality is. Anything is extremely helpful as I continue to make these. I'm going to try to make them as frequently as possible. Obviously, I'm cutting them, so you're basically only seeing the action. If you'd rather see longer games, like I mentioned in the first video, which if you haven't seen, feel free to check that out. That was a banger. I went to game 3, so feel free to check that out. But if you'd rather me cut it a different way, just let me know. Alright, so getting into this game, as we can see, ringers and ballers. I believe the ringers are the Clippers, the ballers being the Mavs. And that's a pretty substantial lead, 7-3. These are going to be games to 11. If you want them to be longer, I'm happy to do so. Nice little oop right there, 8-3. The Mavs looking like they're taking this pretty handedly. Luka again with the ball. I mean, this is going to be the Luka show. I assume in the playoffs it's going to be the Luka show. Porzingis just really needs to show up. He's been, I wouldn't say a disappointment, but obviously, he's a freak of nature. His height, his size, his shooting. I would love to see him really, really just turn up in the playoffs. But yeah, 9-3. The Clippers are just not getting anything to fall right now. What are your predictions for this matchup in the playoffs? I don't really see this going to a Game 7. I could see this being either probably a Game 6, maybe even a Game 5. I think the Mavs can definitely take a game, but with the Clippers' depth, with their defense, I think they'll be able to figure out how to shut down Luka, and once that happens, it's really game over for the series. But what are your predictions? I'd love to hear them. 10-4. Looks like this game is about to wrap up. Porzingis with not the best shot in the world. Ibaka with the rebound to Jackson. Let's see if we can make a little bit of a comeback. Again, it's not looking great. These are games to 11, like I said. Park rules, so win by 2 if it ever does get close. I figured, nice shot from Kawhi, so who knows, maybe they'll make a comeback, but I figured once they're close, once one of the teams is close, I could let it play out a little bit more. Kawhi with another nice shot, so a little bit of a comeback here. Like I was saying earlier, Kawhi is known to be clutch in the playoffs, so it is possible. And if you'd rather me just show uncut video, I'm happy to do so. It'll be longer, obviously. It'll be closer to 30, 35 minutes. But it's no big deal. And then if you'd rather me do live commentary, again, I mentioned this in the first video. I'm happy to do so. But there you go. There you have it. First game going to the Mavs. We'll take a quick look at the player stats. Luka just taking over, 7 for 13. No one else did too much. I mean, Powell had an efficient game, at least, with a good amount of rebounds. Kawhi, 4 for 12. Paul George, 1 for 3. Just not the shooting that they would want. As you can see, Mavs 48% to the Clippers 29%. Although the Clips did shoot better from 3. All right, let's get into the next game. See if it's a sweep. See if the Clippers can come back. I mean, I wouldn't say it's a tall task for the Clippers, but since this is only a 3-game series, I guess you really never know what'll happen. The next series I'm going to be posting, I believe, will be the Celtics-Nets, which I am from Boston. I hate that matchup. I mean, obviously, I love the Celtics, but the Nets just have so much firepower on their team. I'm going to talk about that more in that video. I think for now, I'll just hop into this game. We see the Mavs with the ball, see what they can do. Powell with a nice move. Nothing much happens, but Porzingis on the boards. Like I said, he really needs to utilize his size more. I mean, there's no reason he shouldn't be. I think with his talent, size, I just need to see him get more involved come playoffs at least. Kawhi with the ball, easy pass to Paul George. I mean, I'm guessing he's going to make that all day long. Paul George, if he shows up, I mean, Kawhi, PG-13, that's just a deadly combo. Doncic with the ball, looking around, you know, nice little pump fake. I wouldn't say it's the best move in the world, but whatever works. Luka's not exactly the flashiest player you've ever seen, but Paul coming right back with a bucket of his own. So if I was going to do a live commentary style, it would probably be more like this, me commentating alongside, you know, as if I was actually announcing the game. Luka coming back easily. So if you do want it more like that, just let me know. No big deal. Easy change. I have, in terms of edits, I have the next 2 videos edited. So I won't be able to switch that up too much. But in the future, I will be able to. I haven't commentated over those yet, so if you want that to change, that's easy. Looking like a tied-up game, so a little bit closer than the last one. Mavs could come home with an easy sweep. Again, I don't know how realistic that is in the grand scheme of things, but come playoffs, it's been a weird year, so you really never know. Kawhi just pushing through. Easy basket. Brunson coming up the court with the ball. Nothing too much happening. You see Luka. I mean, he's going to go to Luka. Possibly a blow-by. He likes that move, at least in the park, or in the blacktop, it seems. And obviously on the blacktop, it's just going to be the 5v5, so we're not taking into consideration the full rotation. So when looking at the benches, which team do you think, Kawhi with that long 3, which bench do you think is superior? I mean, you got Zubac off the bench, who's a monster. Cousins, this is obviously the Clippers. Beverly, who's just that defensive pest. Rondo, who showed what he could do last year in the finals. I mean, a mastermind with the ball. Obviously Celtics legend. Now I guess somewhat of a Lakers legend. Kennard, Batum. I mean, that's a pretty deep bench when you really think about it. Versus the Mavs. I mean, I wouldn't say their bench is bad. You have Cauley Stein, who's their big man off the bench. Who else? They got Trey Burke. Who, I mean, he's just a great player overall. JJ Redick, who can come in for the clutch. No longer on the Pelicans. I love the Pelicans too. Obviously, he had his playoff streak broken. But it'll be Boban. Who doesn't love Boban? Hopefully, he'll get some playing time. Jumping back into the game, though, it looks like the Clippers are actually in the lead. Although Luka, easy block. Luka trying to make something happen. Brunson, I don't know about that move. All right, it falls. So remember, it's park rules, so win by 2. PG-13 with he's on fire with the lockdown. I'm surprised I guess he is such a great defender. Oh, but he pops it from 3, and that's game. Win by 2. 2-pointer counts. We'll quickly look at the stats. Luka had a little bit of an off game, but 6 for 14. I mean, not crazy unrealistic. Kawhi 6 for 16. Paul George 3 for 6. I mean, better shooting obviously this time around from the Clippers, with both teams under 40%. Clippers really won it from 3. It looks like. So yeah, we're going to a game 3. What do you think the odds are that this series will go to a game 7? I wouldn't say it's the highest odds in the world, like I said earlier, but it's definitely possible. Kawhi starting this next one off strong. Winner go home. Morris coming back strong. Paul George again. It looks like the Clippers are going on a little bit of a run. Jackson. This is going to be a big 4-0 start for the Clips. That's dangerous. They're coming. They're not playing games. Luka's gonna have to show up. I mean, you could imagine one of these games. Like I said, Luka could just go off, but it just takes a little bit of adjustments from the Clippers, a little bit of coaching, some input from Kawhi, and who knows if they can shut him down. It could be something like a 5-game series in reality. Kawhi coming down again. But yeah, talking about the bench depth, which bench do you think is superior in this situation? Which matchups are you gonna look out for? It'll be interesting if Kristaps would play the center or the power forward. I could imagine they're gonna keep playing him as center, but I mean, really anything could happen come playoff time. Kawhi with another nice shot. So if you made it this far, let's see, what would be something fun? Let's go game 4. What do you think the final score is going to be, and how many points do you think Luka's going to draw? Actually, throughout the series, what do you think Luka's numbers are going to be? Points, rebounds, and assists. Again, I think he's going to have to take over. I think he's gonna. I still think the Clips are coming home with it, but it'll be really interesting. And I'm excited to see these playoffs. I haven't watched them yet. I'm recording these slightly in advance just to build up a decent amount of videos ahead of time, so I can try to stick to somewhat of a schedule. I don't know yet if I'm going to do every other day or every day. I might start with every day just because I was thinking every other day, but I might switch to every day just because I don't want any series to go extremely quickly and then be posting it after the series is already over, if that makes any sense. I just think it's better that way. And yeah, I mean, we'll see how it goes. Alright, as we can see here, Clippers clearly have a decent lead. It's looking kind of rough for the Mavs. Kawhi with that pull-up midi, easily making that shot. So 9-4, solid 5-point lead. But, that was a brutal miss right there, a wide open layup. You never know what's going to happen. I mean, these young guys on the Mavs might be able to show some heart and pull off the comeback, but this is a mismatch. Ibaka's just going to bully. Who was that? Hardaway Jr.? Yeah, he has no chance. I got Luka, though, pulling up. Questionable shot. Probably heavily contested. If you want me to turn on how contested the shots are, I believe I can do that while just spectating. Ooh, an easy drive, but he just misses that one. It could have been game over right there, series over. And if that would be the case, who do you think that if the Clippers win, or if the Mavs win, who do you think they're going to be facing off in the next round? I think these West Coast matchups are going to be interesting. Obviously, I'm going to go off on a tangent for a little bit. The Lakers and the Suns. I mean, the Suns really drew the short end of the stick in these playoffs. Lakers have so much experience, obviously, come playoff time. I don't think LeBron has ever lost in the first round of the playoffs. Booker, Ayton, first time ever in the playoffs. Obviously, they were in the play-in tournament, the bubble tournament last year. But first real playoff experience. I mean, who knows? Maybe they're really clutch under pressure, but that is putting a lot under some young players. But let's see, Clippers 10. Mavs 6. It's looking pretty grim. Kawhi with the ball, holding out for a smart shot, as he does. Although we'll all remember that Kawhi shot over Embiid. And, I mean, he had to put that shot up, but just what a clutch shot. That looks like his patented pull-up midi, and that is it. That is game. That is the series. Clippers coming home with it. The Mavs, Luka really didn't show up. I mean, that whole team, that was an off performance in terms of shooting. I mean, kind of with the Clippers too. We'll check out the team comparison. There were some clutch shots from some unexpected people, but yeah, 41%. I guess that's realistic enough to 24% for the Mavericks. Well, that's it for this video, guys. Feel free to rate. Feel free to subscribe if you like this content. I'm going to keep pumping out these playoffs. Like I said, I believe it's Nets Celtics coming up. And then basically just following the regular NBA schedule for when the next games come up. So yeah, hope you guys had a good one, and see you next time.